June 7th, 1892, a Creole man boarded a train in New Orleans and took a seat in the whites-only car on the East Louisiana Railroad. His name was Homer Plessy. He took that seat deliberately. It was part of an effort by local civil rights activists to test Louisiana's Separate Car Act, a law that required railways to have separate but equal accommodations for black and white passengers. Mr. Plessy was asked to leave. When he refused, he was arrested and placed in the Orleans Parish Jail. His lawyers argued in court that Louisiana's mandated segregation of the railroad violated his rights, but the judge presiding over the case, a man by the name of John Howard Ferguson, ruled that the state was free to make those laws. That case, Plessy versus Ferguson, eventually made its way to the Supreme Court, and in a landmark 7-1 ruling, the court found that separate but equal facilities did not violate the United States Constitution. That ruling allowed segregation to continue for another 58 years. It made discrimination legal in nearly every aspect of daily life: buses, schools, drinking fountains, restaurants, and hotels. That is until 1954, when the Supreme Court made a unanimous decision to overrule it in the Brown versus Board of Education case. But Homer Plessy never got to see that victory. He pled guilty to violating the Separate Car Act. He was fined $25. He died in 1925 with that unjust conviction on his record and the knowledge that Plessy versus Ferguson, separate but equal, was the law of the land. Today we got proof that even though history might take a while to write itself, it usually does, and sometimes in some very surprising ways. An unlikely duo has been working together to clear Mr. Plessy's name. They are the descendants of Homer Plessy and Judge Ferguson, the judge who ruled against him all those years ago. Both sides joined together and petitioned the Louisiana Board of Pardons to clear Plessy's record. And today, almost 125 years after his conviction, that board voted unanimously to do the right thing. The pardon now goes to the governor for approval. And finally, justice. That's been a long time coming. That does it for us tonight. Rachel will be back on Monday. Now it's time for the last word. My friend Jonathan Capehart is in for Lawrence tonight. Good evening, Jonathan.
Good evening, Allie. What a great way to end the show. I didn't know that story. How fantastic.
We talk about Plessy versus Ferguson all the time, but the idea that that Plessy never got his justice until today is we don't often get to end the show on nice things, but that was a good one to do it on.
Yeah, and it's a reminder that justice might take a while, but eventually justice does happen. Allie, thank you very, very much. I'll see you on Sunday.
Have a great show.